had. Politics and idealism ignited both of us. A gifted generational avatar shaped and transformed by the civil rights and anti-war movements, feminism, and the fight against poverty, she had been drawn by and killed in my adopted state. I had friends serving elsewhere in Vista, so maybe my connection to the killing was a throwback to the old wobbly slogan, "An injury to one is an injury to all." I reached across the desk, picked up a metal ruler, and used its edge to tear out the article. Grabbing a manila folder, I marked it Morgan and dropped the clipping into it. I wasn't sure what I would do with the file, but I held on to it. That file grew and reproduced for more than 40 years. When I had a spare weekend, I often visited friends in Madison County. I spent days in the library and the government records office. I sought out anyone who might have known Nancy or who lived in the county at that time. I asked questions that many people did not want to hear. What unfolded was a tangled tale of rural noir. But my search for Morgan's killer wasn't all work. Between interviews, I hiked the country's trails and mountaintop balds and rafted the French Broad River. I stayed in the historic inns, ate the food, listened to the bluegrass and traditional musicians, even entered a turkey shoot, and just watched the stars come out at night. Based in Durham, I learned to work as a journalist, a true crime journalist. I covered the case of Joanne Little, a young black woman accused of murdering her white jailer in a small eastern North Carolina town. Supposedly, she had lured him into her cell with a promise of sex. Eventually, a racially integrated jury acquitted Little in less than 90 minutes. That led to other stories, none quite so dramatic, though many of them raised similar issues of race, class, and gender. During the years that followed, I bounced around the Southeast from courthouse to courthouse, often reporting on capital cases, spending more time in courtrooms than most lawyers. My specialty was investigating and writing about criminal cases that evolved into political causes. Many of the defendants became better known by city and number than by name: the Wilmington 10, the Charlotte 3, and, in Georgia, the Dawson 5. These were crimes of a sort often called Southern justice, an ironic, jaundiced shorthand for lingering racial injustice and the political outrage the trials provoked. In a larger sense, my focus was on justice, or the lack of it, across the spectrum: racial, economic, political, and criminal. Sometimes my reporting was credited with helping derail defendants on the fast track to death row. However, as my proficiency in investigative and courtroom reporting skills developed, my subjects shifted from defendants who were poor, black, and often innocent to those who were more likely to be middle class, white, and guilty. In the spring of 1979, I found myself covering two sensational murder cases. The first involved cross-country serial killer Ted Bundy, and the second, Jeffrey McDonald, the Green Beret doctor accused of murdering his pregnant wife and 2 daughters at their Fort Bragg home. I had the disconcerting experience of conducting the first exclusive face-to-face interview with Bundy since he was arrested for killing a 12-year-old girl and 2 Florida State University sorority sisters. One case had a personal connection. Beginning in November 1979, I reported on the Greensboro, North Carolina shooting, funerals, and, the following year, trials growing out of a clash of anti-racist communists versus Nazis and Klansmen from the mountains of western North Carolina. It was a clear breach of journalistic objectivity and detachment, since some of the 5 dead leftists and others gravely wounded in the shooting were friends and classmates from Duke. In the process of all this freelance reporting, I got an ad hoc legal education. I learned how to sit for tedious hours reading through depositions and autopsy reports. I learned how to interview family members for overlooked details and how to examine crime scenes long after the yellow tape came down. At one point, I took a week-long course in blood